Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Baldwin Burgess. I run a little business called BD Insider. And BD Insider stands for Business Development Insider. What I spend most of my time doing is I try to figure out what we need to acquire skills to be future-proof. So I spend my whole time figuring out where technology is going and how it's going to affect our workplace, but especially the thing that I'm very passionate about is our human relationships, and that's what I want to talk about today. I think we're moving beyond B2B and B2C as a model generally. B2B and B2C, they still belong to a time when we didn't have the connectivity we have today. It belonged to a time when we only had that one or just a limited amount of channels that we could connect with our customers with. I believe that we're moving beyond that, and I like to call this idea, which has been sort of like, for the people who like space, it's been sort of like it's like a planet forming in my mind. It's a thought that's starting to solidify, as I think we have room for a new model. And the reason for that is because it's now very, very easy to make direct connections with our customer. Contrary to where we were before, when we really had that sort of like we had a shout out through a megaphone and hope someone was listening, and then afterwards figure out if we were efficient or not. Right now we live in a world which is hyper-connected and we have a direct connection. What I'm saying is nothing new here, but we are living in a world where everybody has the possibility to have an individual relationship with anyone, and we can do it on scale. So that's why I think business has become more personal than ever. I always chuckle when I hear people say, it's nothing personal, it's business. Frankly, I think that's something of the past. Business is very personal, because we're all connected to each other. But before I go into the topic of why it matters to figure out how to use technology to become more human, I'd like to walk through 4 megatrends that I think are redefining our future right now, today. There's 4: global connectivity, virtual reality, big data, and artificial intelligence. I'm just going to go through these quite quickly. Global connectivity is one of the 4 paradigm shifts because in less than in just a little bit over 2 decades, we have managed to gather half of the world's population online. That is the biggest human mobilization we have ever seen. It's actually unbelievable. And when we think about this internet, we often like to think about the Western world and about the US and about Europe, and in fact, it's really not. If you look at the 21.8%, that's America's north and south. Look at Asia. Look at Africa's share. Actually, the internet is not really a Western phenomenon, it's a global phenomenon. And why this matters is because what we're having all of a sudden in our business world is we have all these new voices and minds that are starting to participate in our global economy. Voices and minds that we can access, and voices and minds who are ready to connect with other voices and minds. The internet is going to double again in the next 5 years. If we figure out where all these people are, typically what happens in Asia, people are very young. The average age is somewhere, I don't know, I'm pulling this out of a hat right now, but it's under 25 years old. So that means that we're going to have another 3 to 4 billion people who are going to come online in the next 5 years. This is, again, the biggest mobilization ever. It took us 20 years to get 3.3 billion. It's going to take us another 5 years to get everybody online. And large corporations are going to make this happen. People like Facebook and Google and Amazon want this to happen. Why? Because their livelihood depends on having a file on everybody online. So we're going to push this through. And if you think about it, it's a very young world. The global age groups are, so a quarter of the world population is under 14 years old. About half is between 15 and 44. I know it's a big bracket, but I can assure you that, let's say, halfway line through that big circle, it's probably got to be somewhere around the 20, 22 years old mark. So we have a very youthful world. So, meet your new customer. This is what he or she looks like. The thing what makes it so special is that for her, technology is just not something that she actually thinks about. It is completely embedded in her life all the way. And we have all these millennials, these people who never put their phone down, who live on their phone. And we boomers, we think they're kind of strange because we want to why don't you just get a life? The point is, for these people, this is their life. They connect through devices. For them, it is perfectly natural to make virtual connections with other people. They don't even think about this anymore. And think back a few slides, 3 to 4 billion people like that are coming online. They have no problem with having human relationships through devices. In fact, it's very natural. Let's talk about virtual reality. This is happening, again, right now. 2016, we'll probably remember it as the year that virtual reality became a product, a consumer product. I don't know if you know this. Bill Clinton raises money for an Africa foundation that he has. He focuses on human development. And I like this example. I'm not going to show you now because I don't think we have time for it, but I recommend you to go on this. It has a Facebook page where you can see this virtual reality visit to one of his projects. He takes you to the place where your money will be put to work. This is quite incredible, actually. He's been doing this for a couple of years, I believe. But virtual reality makes us ask a few very profound questions, and those are we still going to travel for business in 2025? What's going to happen to all that office space when we don't really need office anymore? Or will we still need our devices? Because virtual reality means we're going to virtualize everything around us. It is the device that rules all devices. These are questions that we have to start asking ourselves. How is it going to transform our world? And so the main question that you have to ask as human resources experts is, what is your VR strategy? How are you going to earn a place in someone's virtual world? This is a very important question because once we go virtual with we can edit our world. It means that we're going to have a degree of control of who shows up in that world. A very big question for businesses to ask. All right. Artificial intelligence. Personally, probably my favorite topic. In the last few weeks, 2 major things happened, I think. I'm not going to get into detail, but the artificial intelligence is now moving into the second phase. There are a total of 3 phases. It's a terrifying phase. It's as terrifying as it is fascinating, but you probably read in the news that Google's DeepMind beat Go, one of the world's best Go players. So it's quite an achievement because previously it was seen as an impossible feat to do. Go is an extremely complex game to play. But what caught my attention is that a pig was operated by a robot from start to finish. So they opened the pig, sealed the intestine, closed the pig was fine. And it takes a surgeon 15 years to study to learn how to do this. And now we have a robot who just did that for us. This is interesting. You know, artificial intelligence is moving into the next realm. Even McKinsey says that this is going to have an amazing impact. And this picture, this slide is 3 or 4 years old. We're talking about this 3 or 4 years ago. It's going to, I like to call it the beginning of the end of work as we know it. And artificial intelligence is already stealing technical and knowledge jobs. But there's one thing that artificial intelligence really is bad at, and that's making human connections. That's something that artificial intelligence is so far away from, and that's great news. However, I see so many businesses trying to do this. They're trying to put machines and robots and artificial intelligence in front of their customers. You know, I get cold called by robots. I get touch tone services when I call into a company. Something is fundamentally wrong with the perspective that many businesses are taking on the technology that we have. I wrote a free special report about this. If you're interested in getting this, go on my site, download it there. What I did here is this. I wanted to put in perspective how artificial intelligence is going to affect our lives. So go to Media Insider, and then this artificial-intelligence. You can download the report there. I'll show my website again later on. Big data, that's the final trend of the 4 trends. Eric Schmidt, the CEO of Alphabet, recently, about a year and a half ago, said that the internet will disappear. Well, he didn't mean that the internet's going to be switched off. What he means is that the internet will be omnipresent. It will be in devices. It will be everywhere. There will be trillions of devices connected, which means that we cannot switch on or out of the internet anymore. It's going to be there all the time. That's quite significant, and that means that now we've come to a point where we come to the end of guessing. And the end of guessing is a fundamental change in the way we think about skills and talents. Because intelligence will no longer be defined by what you know, but it's how fast you can adapt to the information out there. It means that information is widely available, and that the big competitive advantage will probably depend on how well and how fast you can use data that's out there. You don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to know anymore. It's all about guessing. It's a big shift in the skill set that we need to consider. And the ability to access real-time information with artificial intelligence is going to redefine power. That's where small companies can run circles around corporations, can be more agile, they can connect that. And the question again you have to ask is, do you have the skills, do you have the systems, and the strategy to add value to your customers with real-time data? It's a big question you have to ask. So what does all this mean for us? Why am I showing you all these things? Well, frankly, those companies who can use technology to make a real human connection are going to win. And it's going to require a whole set of new skills. What it's going to require is, okay, forget, this is not very scientific, but I sort of ranked the typical types of jobs in any organization according to x-axis is left hand is automated or human, and level of competitive edge. Level of competitive edge should be considered as its availability, how easy you can get. So what I think is going to happen here is that things like logistics, IT, finance, and research, those are clear candidates for artificial intelligence to take care of. Starting from marketing, management, especially human resources, becomes very human. The skill set becomes very human. And this is really where I think any organization should really start working on. But most importantly, it's going to mean that it's not only about social skills, it's about how you can make a human connection through technology. Again, it's about creating amazing customer experiences. I still am surprised that I just can't hit a button somewhere and a human will attend me somewhere on the other side when I deal with a business. This is so easy to do. I use a little software called BombBomb. I switch on my phone, I hit a button, I record a message, I send it by email, they get a video. This is totally possible. Why is nobody doing this? Why is nobody thinking about it? It's about that amazing customer experience. So knowledge is going to come naturally with technology, remember? So the focus is going to be on social skills. And this is a graph that I always pull up because I see this as, if you can use technological systems to ensure that you're going to be adding value to your customers, you're going to be taking them through a journey of earning trust and becoming their guide, it's probably the safest approach you can have to winning a customer's business. It starts with a bit of relationship. You add some knowledge to that. You give knowledge and that relationship grows, so there's trust. And before you know it, your customer is going to be pushed from the prospect zone into the client zone. The beautiful thing is, if you have the right systems and the right technology to provide that kind of timeline on each customer, then you have the social skills to deliver that. This is quite a powerful setup. So the new race is all about making real virtual connections. The new race is all about making real human connections in a virtual world. All right, I also happen to think that this is the biggest business and employment opportunity ever. It's huge business because we're talking about billions of people that we can actually connect with at lifetime customer value. But it's the biggest employment opportunity that we've ever seen because we're probably going to wind up in a world where people are going to be taking care of other people in terms of client service. There's even businesses who are experimenting with the fact that customer service should probably be sourced between the clients. Clients helping customers helping each other out. There's a lot of interesting models that can derive from this. But I think this is amazing news. And, all right. There's a lot more about this. This is as much as I can cram in 20 minutes today. On my site, I focus on transformative training programs. These are the kind of themes that I'm continuously working on. So feel free to go there. If you do, there's a free training course that I give you. You can sign up on my page. Look for the part that says Future Proof. Type in your email, and I'll be feeding you more ideas like these. A lot of my material is free because it's online. I want to give it away. It's something that I'm passionate about, something that I care about, and I hope I can add value to you. Thank you very much for listening. And if there's any questions, if there's time for questions, we're not doing that. Okay.